The Slovenian referee has made a shocking statement. Slavko Vincic has finally broken his silence, exposing what happened inside the VAR room and revealing what was hidden behind Argentina's loss to Spain. In doing so, he claims to bring justice while offering an apology to Lionel Messi and the Albiceleste. Take a look at what the Slovenian referee, Slavko Vincic, had to say, setting off a bombshell after the World Cup final. But before we get into the details of this unprecedented refereeing earthquake, if you agree with me and truly believe that our beloved Argentina national team suffered a blatant injustice and a cold, disgraceful refereeing conspiracy in this historic match, hit the like button right now without hesitation. Then head to the comments and write the words that will shake the world. Justice for Argentina. A sea of doubts and a devastating earthquake are shaking the halls of FIFA. The dark secrets hidden behind the scenes are finally coming to light, striking hard against those who tried to crush the truth. The Slovenian referee, Slavko Vincic, has broken a deathly silence, tearing away the veil of secrecy and dropping an atomic bomb that is shaking the entire football world. We are now witnessing open confessions, shocking revelations about the VAR room, and an official, historic apology delivered directly to the legendary Lionel Messi and to the entire Argentine people. After the epic battle that brought millions of people to a standstill, and after the wave of outrage that spread from Buenos Aires to every corner of the world where the spirit of fair play still exists, Vincic decided to break the rules. In exclusive and stunning remarks to the American outlet The Athletic, he ignited enormous controversy by dismantling the official narrative, turning his words into a direct condemnation of the refereeing structure of the old continent. He decided to wash his hands of the spectacle surrounding the massacre that unfolded on the pitch, causing a massive shock inside FIFA and unleashing an uncontrollable wave of anger across social media around the world. This confession proves that Lionel Messi's team did not lose because of football itself, but because they became victims of a dark plot designed behind the scenes to strip them of their world title. Listen carefully as Vincic himself, visibly shaken, revealed the nightmare he lived through before the opening whistle. I went through the days and hours leading up to this great final in an extremely difficult and painful way. In fact, it was the most terrifying pressure I have ever experienced as a referee in the history of football. Before and during the match, I was the target of a fierce, organized, and systematic attack by the major European media outlets, especially the fanatical Spanish press, the resentful English media, and Swiss newspapers. They were all waging a relentless psychological war against me, repeating the same dangerous narrative that the Argentina national team was always favored by FIFA. This brutal media bombardment and organized psychological pressure caused me to step onto the field on the night of the final under completely abnormal mental and physical pressure. I was completely conditioned and unconsciously driven to prove the opposite to everyone, to show that I was not favoring Argentina. That led me to make decisions in the opposite direction, turning myself into a constant source of punishment for the Albiceleste players without mercy, simply to satisfy European public opinion, which was waiting for any mistake I made to crucify me in the media and completely destroy my career. The Slovenian referee continued exposing what really happened, explaining how his whistle became a weapon used to dismantle Argentina's shape on the field and deny its players the right to play with legitimate physical contact. Because of that tremendous outside pressure, which paralyzed my mind and made me move around the field in fear, I started making extremely harsh decisions against only one side. I handed out several yellow cards in a row to Argentine players for challenges that were completely ordinary and perfectly normal in today's football. And today, I openly admit before the world and before the conscience of the sport that they did not deserve several of those yellow cards at all. They were harsh decisions, born out of my fear of being accused of favoring Messi's teammates. I could see the anger and disbelief in Lionel Messi's eyes, as well as in the eyes of the rest of the players, wondering why I was treating them with such severity while ignoring the fouls committed by their opponents. The European media machine succeeded in turning me into a tool to break Argentina's fighting spirit, preventing the midfielders and defenders from playing with their usual physical style because they were afraid of being sent off early. I now feel deep bitterness when I realize that my rushed and fearful decisions prevented the Argentine Warriors from defending their jersey with all their strength, forcing them to play on shaky legs out of fear of my cards, something for which I take full responsibility before history and before every supporter who believes in fair football. The referee then addressed the most tragic and devastating moment of the match, the incident that led to the sending off of young star Enzo Fernandez. A decision that changed the course of the game and shattered the dreams of an entire nation. As for the tragic and unfair sending off of the young star Enzo Fernandez, I want to say this publicly and loudly, without any fear. That sending off was completely unfair. The entire situation was handled terribly. At first, Enzo protested naturally, driven by the adrenaline of the match, but because I was already overwhelmed by the pressure that had built up inside me, I showed him a yellow card that was far too harsh. Then, in the second incident, I rushed into the decision like a madman and showed him a second yellow card, followed immediately by the red. It was a completely unfair and rushed decision because I was under the effects of the physical and mental exhaustion that comes with refereeing a World Cup final, while trying to show the world that I was in control. The truth that everyone deserves to know is that, at that very moment, I was not in the proper state of mind to referee a match of that magnitude. I allowed myself to be carried away by the shouting all around me. Enzo Fernandez did not deserve to leave the field in a match of this importance, nor did he deserve to be denied the chance to fulfill his dream. It was a refereeing crime that I committed with my own hands because of the fear and pressure created by the European lobby, which wanted to bring Argentina down by breaking the backbone of its midfield, opening the way for the opposition to take complete control of the match for the rest of the game. Vincic didn't stop there. He went even further, exposing what he described as the greatest betrayal within the refereeing system itself, pointing directly at the complicity of the VAR room. I am deeply saddened and completely broken by what happened that dark night. The moment I blew the whistle and showed the red card, I immediately felt a knot in my throat, and I knew how serious my mistake was. That's why I was desperately hoping the VAR room would call me over to review Enzo Fernandez's sending off. More than anything, I wanted them to invite me to the pitch-side monitor so I could watch the play again, because I was fully prepared to overturn that unfair red card and correct that historic mistake. But what happened next was both shocking and highly suspicious. When they spoke to me through the headset, instead of calming the situation and asking me to review the play, they kept insisting that the card was correct, that the sending off was fully justified, and that there was no need to waste time going over to the monitor. I was left stunned by their attitude, and I felt as though I had been abandoned to face the guillotine alone. The VAR room became an accomplice to this robbery by refusing to throw Argentina a lifeline. That only confirms that the entire system was operating under the same fear, or that, one way or another, they wanted a dramatic ending that would dethrone the defending champions and hand the trophy to another continent, leaving everyone in disbelief. After those words, Vincic's alleged confession spread like wildfire throughout the football world. Supporters of the Argentine national team immediately pointed to his statements as proof that something much bigger than simple refereeing mistakes had taken place on the biggest stage in football. The controversy quickly reignited old debates about the influence of media pressure, the role of VAR, and whether referees can truly remain impartial when they're subjected to relentless public scrutiny before a match of this magnitude. According to this account, the psychological pressure surrounding the final didn't just affect one official. It ended up shaping crucial decisions that changed the course of the match itself. For many fans, those admissions explain why several controversial calls seem to consistently go against Argentina throughout the game. Others believe the comments expose a much deeper problem inside modern football, where outside narratives and public opinion may influence decisions that are supposed to be based solely on what happens on the field. Regardless of where people stand, these statements have once again placed the integrity of international refereeing under an intense spotlight. Questions continue to grow about the responsibility of the VAR officials, the pressure created by the media, and whether enough safeguards exist to prevent outside influences from affecting matches of this importance. For Argentina's supporters, however, the pain of that final remains unchanged. Many still believe the team was denied a fair opportunity to defend its World Cup crown, and these alleged revelations have only strengthened that conviction. The debate is far from over, and the football world continues to argue about what truly happened on that unforgettable night. In the end, that battle at MetLife Stadium will forever stand as a monument to the courage of Argentina's warriors, who fought with only 10 men like true lions in the face of adversity. Lionel Messi and his teammates proved that greatness does not depend on officiating influenced by outside pressure, but on the unbreakable pride of wearing a glorious jersey. Now it's your turn, football fans and World Cup supporters. Share your honest opinion in the comments below. Do you believe these confessions are definitive proof that the Albiceleste were robbed? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future exclusives. Write "Justice for Argentina" in the comments right now. We'll see you in the next video as we continue uncovering the truth. Yeah,